Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. Welcome to another episode of Let the Madness Begin. Will Coleman, Marshawn Taylor.
Oh, no, Konnichiwa today? Oh,
Nah,
Sunday is when you can't curse, I guess. You know.
nah, it's
Sunday service by Kanye?
yes.
Oh,
Oh man, yeah, he's not going to one of the Kardashians' weddings.
You probably wasn't invited. Wasn't invited?
I mean, it would be kind of awkward. You're not dating or married to
Exactly. So, I mean, what's the point of him going?
But that's a topic. Like, I don't understand how that's a topic. That's like you inviting your ex to your wedding. It's like
I'll invite my ex to my wedding. Just to rub it in her face.
Hi, we heard it first. How's it going today?
It's another Sunday. Rainy Sunday, but it's all good.
Oh yes, thank you. I'm glad it rained. Woo. I laid down some fertilizer
for your grass.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I get it green. I'm trying to get it.
Oh, yeah. Green, huh? Real green.
Yeah. So I looked at everybody else's and I'm like, yo, I'm jealous. So I do what most men do when they get jealous of what somebody does to their house. I go use my membership at Lowe's.
Oh, okay.
All right, man. So you want to revisit a topic?
Yeah, because I came across the thing we talked about previously, and it kind of irritated me hearing who it came from. I thought it was just some random. You get random people that make comments that really shouldn't be talking. Their soapbox should, they don't need to. Yeah, they shouldn't have a soapbox to stand on.
Right.
And it's crazy, and I hate, it's one of the things I say, I dislike when people tell them, like for instance, Kanye, he's telling you himself he's a genius. That's not on you yourself to declare yourself certain titles, right? Like genius, brilliant, intelligent.
Okay, I see.
So I'm getting at those, you describe yourself because people will tell you, and not say, oh, you got to wait on people to tell you.
But they'll validate.
They validate. They validate.
Okay, they'll validate what you suspect.
What you suspect. If you there's no self-validation within yourself. But for you to, and I think this is the case with the young lady that said what she said about Martin Luther King Jr. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., excuse me. When we sit there and try to, like you said, validate ourselves by downgrading, divesting, trying to sit there and set yourself apart from somebody else's legacy that you benefited from, but you fail to look back on. That's not even just somebody famous. You think about we sit there, we talk down about our parents, grandparents, and the things they went through the past.
Right.
But for some reason, you got to understand, we forget that these are things they went through, and sometimes they allow us to not fall in place to go through the same things in life in order for us to be successful or push the envelope a little further down the road or a little further across the table, to get to the other side. Not to the point where you're pushing it off the table, you tearing it up and putting your own envelope on it. But I mean, in order for us to get to where we are now, some people had to go through certain roadblocks, certain obstacles, certain pitfalls, uphill, downhill battles, everything you could think of, highs and lows, and when I actually, I meant to ask you where was the reference for that what we talked about, and when I came across it, just kind of sat with me the whole day because I think we, like you said, it's more us now doing it to each other, and a lot of times, like you said, it's a black woman onto a black man. Now we do it to ourselves,
right?
But it hurts even more to say I'm making sure if I'm seeing it right from your point of view. It's more or less when it's from a black woman, it hurts even more. You know, in a sense, it's even more divisive than it is than, hey, it's men disagreeing. But at the same time, as men, as we disagree, sometimes we can come to the middle and decide to, you know what, this is what it's going to be. You see tomato, I see tomato, you know, potato, the whole nine, you know, whatever, you know. And I think when it comes to dealing with our counterparts of the same race, color, whatever, but different gender, sex, orientation, it's a lot of times it's more like I see more like a backbiting type deal. You know, so I mean, in a sense, we I don't know, we like I said, we set ourselves back so far. We take the 10 steps, but a lot of times we end up going 30 back because we do shit like that. Excuse my language, Sunday, I'm cussing, but you know, we do that. But yeah, I mean, it's a horrible deal, man. It's just like, damn, how far have we really gone? You know, are we just going in circles, but we just every time we just taking the same circle and it's just different position facing another direction, you know, of the circle.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah,
I think it's that. So
okay. Yeah, I want to, because this let me know how because you had a very valid point because I didn't even look at it from the perspective of, but go ahead and expand on, you know.
So first off, you said something, and I always say that, so I'm gonna come up with another phrase. You mixed in extra flavor in there, and you
know that's me. Go ahead.
And I liked it because you said we don't respect what the people who came before us went through.
Right.
And it made me think of when Kanye West and some of these other black people that say slavery was a choice or they buy into that philosophy. And you know how people say, well, you're 400 plus years removed from this particular event in history. And they're like, so you should move on and get over it. And it's like, wait a second. Let's replay history. I was sold into slavery, brought to a country, mixed in with other people who were sold into slavery, not speaking the same language, in an environment where I didn't know anything, beaten, humiliated, raped, both men and women, forced to raise children that didn't look close enough to white by the master for raping my woman. If I stood up to protect my woman, I get castrated, hung with my penis in my mouth. These are actual pictures. I have a book. I bought this book. It's about Southern hangings. People, I know it sounds crazy why you buy that book, because I want when people come to my house.
You know what? We should talk about it too. But go ahead. But yeah, I like you saying though. Very good point though. Very valid point. Imagine, because people understand what happened to a man in Virginia when they finally caught him for his attempted rebellion. Like you said, they castrated him.
Yeah.
They
if you just use Denmark Versus,
Denmark Versus.
I know who you're talking about.
It's Nat Turner.
And we could go down the list of how many. And let's not forget the reason why, you know, why I understand when Malcolm X said you can't go into a white person's neighborhood and get their women. Let's not forget, Emmett Till was suspected of doing something, which later the white woman said did not happen.
Right.
She lived a long life. Emmett Till looked like he got beat up like a Ninja Turtle.
Like he got in a fight with Mike Tyson several times, repeatedly.
I seen one of Mike Tyson. I hate to get outside. I seen a fight Mike Tyson had with a guy, and like after the 5th round, the guy's face was so swollen.
Yeah.
And Mike Tyson's just looking at him like they're gonna let this guy keep fighting. He can't see. But you're right. And that's exactly how Emmett Till. So these things happen. So when you hear someone say slavery was a choice, or y'all still holding on to the past, I'm not holding on to the past. My past is on replay. It's not like I could move away from it. You teach me it in school for history for a reason. You don't teach me George Washington Carver. You don't teach me Frederick Douglass. You don't teach me these things. You teach me you was a slave, white daddy freed you. And then he had the help of Martin Luther King.
Right.
That's what you teach us.
Right.
So you fail to add the fact that under Jim Crow, you was burning crosses in our yards and you were burning down neighborhoods. You failed to add that. So I thought when you brought that in there, that part right there, it resonated with me because
that's a wrinkle we seem to,
yes,
the revisionist history,
exactly.
As they call it. We seem to forget how, I think slavery for some people is, we couldn't use the restrooms, we couldn't use the restaurants, we couldn't use the same water fountains, walk on the same sidewalks, live in the same neighborhoods, on the same side of the tracks.
No, it was
that sort of deal.
Worse.
Yeah, people understand how worse it really was.
Yeah.
And back to, like I said, Martin Luther King and what he did, regardless of the man, it's like this. My thing is this, and not to say whether it's true or not, I condone it or whatever. It's like they were trying to do to him, exploiting what he was, his activities were outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing as what's going on now, more or less. With, like I said, what the young lady said, it's pretty much the same line. But like I said, it's even worse because it's one of us and it's a woman.
And so that part, why it hurts.
Because they're supposed to be holding us down. They're supposed to be the queens.
That and the fact that if you think about biblically in the Bible, what has always brought down a man?
A woman.
That's biblical.
You're right. And it's so true. And like I said, I'm not saying it's
I can't. You can't.
Now, and it's, like you said, it started with Lilith and Eve. Well, not necessarily Lilith, Eve.
Don't bring up Lilith. You don't want to do that.
Okay. Well,
you don't want to bring up Adam first.
She just wasn't taking it. That's all. But she was down on that. I said, what she went down on that. But even still, I mean, Eve, look at Samson. Delilah, David, his many
Abraham, and Sarah.
Well, actually. Sarah's actually was cool with it in a sense.
But see, think about what you said. That's like your woman come to you and like, yeah, I'm cool with the threesome. But then also when it happens, then she come back and she's like, I'm mad at you and the girl, but you brought it. You brought it.
According to how it says in the book, at the time Sarah couldn't produce,
and it was her idea. Even though God said be patient,
right? So
she brought hell into her house because she couldn't handle what she brought into the house.
Right.
Sound like the women now, but that's not a story.
Let's make sure we quote.
But that is biblical, right?
It is in the good book. It is
the book that they follow, right?
The same book
that these pastors keep forgetting to preach about. But okay, yeah.
The same ones, like you said, they fragment and manipulate it and angle it however they want to angle it. But like I said, the same book, the same words, pages, missing chapters and stuff, and rewritten.
Who did the devil talk to?
Huh?
In the Garden of Eden, who did the devil talk to?
Whoever he wanted to talk to, that was in the garden.
No, he couldn't. He could never talk to Adam. He could never talk to Adam. I keep telling people that in the Bible, the devil could not talk to Adam because Adam was with God.
God was with him.
So the only person he could use to get to Adam was Eve.
Yeah.
When Eve was not in the midst of her husband,
right, who was in the midst of God,
she fell.
Yeah.
History has shown women fall when they're not with a man. These are facts. And you call me a liar. These are facts.
Wow.
This is why I bring this up.
Go ahead.
Even if you look throughout everything in history, 9 times out of 10, it's always a woman involved that brings down society.
Okay.
Queen Elizabeth.
What did the Queen do to you?
She didn't do nothing to me, but look at her history. Let's look at Cleopatra. Let's look at, history when they always say
Caucasian Cleopatra on the movie or on the TV shows. So you talking about
Elizabeth Taylor was pretty hot back in the day. I see why Michael Jackson was followed for. But we'll use both.
Okay.
We'll use the white
Pretty much
version.
either way.
Yeah.
Either way.
If you look, even if you look at the Caucasian history and how they write history, they let you know that they women are deceitful, even in their history.
Right.
So, and I know people be like, well, you're being misogynistic. No, I'm actually using the words in which y'all follow every day that y'all sit in church, which is the Bible. Women are the weaker species when it comes to this. Women are more easily tempted. If you think about how societies are driven, if a woman comes into certain positions, all of a sudden society starts falling. Because now you have more emotions in the man.
Okay.
It's not saying that we don't fall. It's not saying we don't falter. It's not saying that we're not perfect, but it's saying that we have something that they don't have. Whatever you want to call it, it's just there. So when we take that and we say, okay, let's look at in the African American community, what held the community together? Family.
Right.
The black man was the head. The woman was his helpmate.
Right.
Not second place, not third place, not fourth place. She was the helpmate. Right. She got the same respect as the man, but her respect was given to the man.
Right.
And I think people don't understand that.
And I think, and let's hold it. I think the issue comes what you said is place.
Oh. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So carry forward.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right.
That's the issue. I think it's
everybody knew their place. They knew their roles, which is roles are very important. Trust me, you know.
But that's an issue as well. Yeah. Go ahead, keep going. but place is a better
place.
That's a better thing that gets them going. But go ahead.
So when you look at it, so that was our family structure. So even in the midst of hell that we went through in this country, we held that bond together. And that held up our community, because one thing you always talk about is community. So what's the basis of community? Family. So families were that.
Right.
So people don't understand how deep that goes. If your son or daughter did something in the community that was wrong, by the time the parents got to them, they already either got a tongue lashing or beaten.
Right.
Because it was authorized, because
you was because like you said, you were a community and you was a family. You were just a whole. Right.
If you didn't have dinner and you went out dinner one night, the next night you would never go out dinner, because once the community found out, they took care of you. And that's how the community was. Men, women, children. What has happened, and I say this, is the fact that the system has found a way to actually undermine our foundation. And what they did, and for better or worse, I don't care how it sounds, they put the black woman on a pedestal and told her that you are more valuable than the black man. You're more educated than the black man. You have more resources than the black man. And this is why I say we have to be careful what we're told, because they're telling you this, but you still make less than me. So technically they're lying to you.
Right.
But what it has done, it has forced you to look at me differently.
Right.
So now anything I do, you want to hold me under the microscope.
Right.
You want to sit up here and now degrade me. Oh, you ain't doing this, you ain't doing that. Oh, you have to have this before you come to me, and this and that. Wait a second, hold up. Where did this come from?
Right.
Oh, now I know where it's coming from. It's coming from that system that has told you that you were better and different than me. The same system that has not elevated you in it. What they just, all they did was they pillow talked you. Yeah. You're not elevated in it. So actually, if people really want to, and this is going to sound funny, Caucasians, black males, we're still above a lot of other races, because unfortunately, we're great at everything. So they're going to always, we hold a special place in their heart.
Okay.
They love seeing us make them laugh. They love seeing us play sports. They love seeing us crack codes and build stuff and take it from us. You know, they love to tell us that, you know, you did everything except make peanut butter. Who cares about peanut butter? We did everything with the peanut. We don't have to make peanut butter with it. Right. But why is that part of the issue?
I don't know.
Did you know that they may have castrated that man?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I want to look into that.
What are you gonna do about it?
I can't do nothing about it.
Let's say
If I had a time machine, it'd be
family-
different.
Get his family compensated? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that would be dope though. But you start seeing women start having their own movement within the movement. So now when we're fighting for equality, and all of a sudden a woman wants to be like in front with us, well, you're not dying like us.
Okay.
I have yet to see a woman hung from a tree. I have yet to see a woman castrated. Now, I know people be like, well, what about in Africa? We're talking about America. Africa is different. Let them talk about what they go through over there on that. But let's talk about over here. He didn't castrate you. Well, he raped us. That's fair. You may have got raped. But you didn't get castrated. You didn't get humiliated. You didn't get whipped to the point of that your white meat was showing. Have you ever seen white meat?
Yes.
It takes a lot to get to that white meat. Yeah, it takes a lot to get. Once you get you close to the bone, once you get to that white meat. I mean, there's
like you think about life over repeatedly.
Exactly.
And you just it's crazy.
We went through all of that as the men, protecting our family, fighting for our family, and going through hell for our family in wars. I don't really see Black women dying in wars.
Okay.
But yet, how have you been fed a lie? You've been fed this lie, so now you're critical. You're very critical of the Black man. You criticize us at every point. Now everything we do is under the microscope. So now we come to what B. Simone said. You take everything that's an issue, because it boils down to now she probably mad at her father. He wasn't in the house and things like that.
No, actually her dad, according to what she said, her dad was a great man. He was a preacher. Same thing as the great man, falls in the same line. Her dad was very much involved in her life. But yeah.
Okay, so cool.
Yeah.
So
I'll give her that. She's not one of those.
But she pretends to be.
Okay.
That's what
I'll leave that alone.
She pretends to be. So she comes from a great family structure.
Right.
All right. So now she's like, okay, if you cheat on your woman, you're a bad man, and this and third. Okay. Is that the standard across the board or for Black people? Because that conversation didn't have to start with Martin Luther King. It could start with every damn president that has sat in the seat, except for Obama. And I don't even know. I'm just saying, I'm just using him as a reference point, because technically during his office, he didn't have no mistresses or anything like that. And maybe Bush didn't. Second Bush, he didn't. But he had,
No, he had Condoleezza Rice.
I still think he had Condoleezza Rice. By the way, she actually she's not bad, and she liked football too. Yeah. Well, she drank a beer. Condoleezza, why she's still single? I don't know what's going on right there. But she was actually on the first NCAA playoff committee.
Yeah.
She went from the White House.
Right.
Y'all don't know about Condoleezza, man. Condoleezza really is that.
First committee.
Yeah, she's that woman. But you sit up here and you criticize the Black man because he's an easy target, because it goes back to that gang mentality. I could rob you because you're my neighbor and I see you. Well, you don't need to come at me.
Right.
I know my faults. Are you going after George Washington?
No.
Thomas Jefferson? Thomas Jefferson? Hey, just come after Strom Thurmond down here. I mean, where does it stop?
Right.
But she's not, because number one, she's a punk. She's not ready to have that conversation. So it's easy to come after Martin Luther King. So it's like, I think what he did was wrong. Okay, cool. He may have messed on his wife. But they got evidence. No, they don't have evidence. Let's put this in perspective.
Let's say nothing's been actually put out there.
Nothing's been put out there.
Right.
And even if it's put out there, what is it?
Yeah.
A picture. It's not like it's digital like with us. It's a picture.
Right. It's a dramatization.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
They made it up and they just recorded it,
I mean, and this is why I tell people, y'all have to understand
something. And one of them Black porn stars, Martin Luther King Jr. and Cherry. One of the white porn actors, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. He wasn't just cheating on his wife. He was banging white women. And depending on who you talk to, he was banging white men. It all depends. I mean, yeah.
I mean, that's his business, though.
That's the part that I'm trying to get. So where do we draw the line? So let's leave it at that. But more importantly, what's the point? Is the point to say that cheating on your family is bad? Cool, no problem. You didn't have to use Martin Luther King.
No, you didn't.
You could have used your life.
True.
You could have used the fact that you was trying to break up a happy home with the baby, but you didn't want to say that. So you're not woman enough to. We saw you. We know, and he was with his, and she addressed you. But see, you don't want to talk about that. See, because when you really want to talk about that, are we going to talk about Pete Davidson and Kim? Because he was messing with Kim while they were still married. But but you ain't gonna talk about that because you really want to get with the Kardashians. So let's put it in perspective. We're gonna talk about Trump. She could have used Trump. Trump would have been a great target. I mean, we have three examples of him cheating. 3 great examples of him cheating. Yeah. And a porn star. He should have called me. I would have had his back on that one when I was single. But see, I'm naming white people.
Right. But when we, like you said, we take that and put the blinders on, and the first one we see is, oh, and the question is, it's almost June, so it's not like, what is your point? My thing is, what is your point? Because like you said, a lot of great men have
not even great men. Let's talk about these women, because let's not forget. Remember this. I'm glad you brought this up. You just read my mind.
Right.
The way to knock a man is through a woman.
Right.
Not every woman was faithful to her great husband.
Okay.
So women be out here slinging that right. box and have very known mistresses. I mean, Mark Anthony. Let's use Roman.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, we can go throughout history, and there have been women throughout history who have led the charge of their husband's downfall. So, don't just leave it at a man. It's just cheating, right?
Yeah.
So that's the part she left out too, on purpose.
Because she's talking about a man.
Exactly. She's talking about a black man. Why? Because
he's an easy target.
Not only is he an easy target, but she knows she got the green light. See, when you know you have the green light, you're willing to do that. Now, it's ironic that you do that after you see people get murdered in a store, but hey, you ain't here nor there. You know what I'm saying? That that's more important than black people getting killed in the store.
Right.
Even if you want to say not just the black people, even in Milwaukee, the other people that they got killed too. Or how about the boy that just happened to walk the street with an AR-15, just ready to just murder people and high-fiving cops and stuff a couple of years ago?
Right.
Or
black. Well, let's go back to a black woman you spoke about. Not to we had a previous comp before we had this. The Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, that was more important. Oh, we're not talking about that. How her and her girlfriend wife bought islands, spent she giving her baby father money, and she giving everybody money. She all this money. Now I think they said that the cause itself, no, let me rewind that. This is what was said, and this is what really scared me. She made money off the backs of dead black men. And she wasted it and spent it,
right,
and then do nothing with it.
But the thing about it is,
B. Simone, where you at, bitch? That's what the B stand for.
So,
call me. What you gonna do? You gonna get mad at me? I mean, you literally had this woman who did this. She literally robbed the people.
I totally forgot what I was going to say. But
you got Candace Owens, who got more heart than you. Candace Owens showed up to the woman's party. Like, yo, party that we funded. Right. I didn't fund it. I didn't give money to it. However,
there's a lot of things that can be done, and people don't, and the people don't understand. That's why I'm going to cut you off.
No.
It makes it hard for people to want to be a part of what you're doing because of examples of what you talk about. And it's or makes people not want to try to attempt to put something together because, like you said, somebody's going to look for something to tear you down about. If it's especially if it's something great, it's people speak upon. If something is going to be great and be legacy building, of course they're going to want to tear it down. Hey, yeah, he was a great guy, man. But shoot, man, he used to love fucking them sheep. I got video of it. Y'all want to see it?
I still want to know how you get video of him fucking the sheep unless you was watching them masturbate.
You know what I'm saying?
They never tell that part. Exactly.
What were you doing? Like, how did you get the tape? What was you doing?
That's what happened. Yeah.
Did you cut the part out where you tagged in and you got in on it too? I mean, exactly. What exactly you doing all this?
You only gave us the 30 seconds of this tape, but I heard it was like 5 hours. It was really good.
Right. You said nights. He was doing it, so he was going a few minutes a night, a whole night. Yeah.
Let's put the Black Lives Matter thing in perspective because it goes back to how Black women tear us down. And this is not a knock on Black women. Not all Black women tear us down, but one thing somebody
every time he go there, he knock down a Black woman.
No. Let me. And somebody said this: if it doesn't apply to you, why would it bother you? So instead of trying to be a martyr for all women, maybe y'all should actually say, let me take a step back and actually say, I need to help condone these people. Kind of like how we as Black people, we need to take a step back and really condone the ones that commit these crimes. Start having these free Bootsy and free Willie and all these shirts when we know these motherfuckers commit these crimes. But that's neither here nor there.
Free Melly. We need free Melly.
Yeah, this motherfucker murdered 10 people. You want to free his ass for what? To murder more people?
Of course.
The one person he should have murdered was that damn white boy. Where you at? But we ain't talking about that right now. But let's put this in perspective. So the quote unquote head of Black Lives Matter,
right?
The female made it's astronomical what number, but we'll just use 6 million. The other Black woman that was involved with Black Lives Matter, she went on to write a book and everything, and they all went on, got big houses and everything. They gave Marshawn, not me, the rapper, they gave him a penthouse in New York.
Oh, my song.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they used him to get the street cred, but they didn't give him no money.
I mean, they gave him a penthouse.
They gave him a penthouse, and they quieted him. They will use us until they can't get no more out of us. And this is why we'll pause it on the Black Lives Matter. Let's shift to the Me Too movement, which was started by a Black woman. I think she was out of Texas, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought it was a white woman in Hollywood. Oh,
they took it over, but no, it was actually a black woman that's credited with the Me Too movement. They found her.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm glad you brought that part up because that feeds into this.
Right,
so apparently she started because she was being harassed at her job, and I guess she came up with the Me Too and everything. What happened was, as Malcolm X would say, your friends, your white liberals came in and said, "Oh, I need to use this because we got the same enemy. Let's go attack all men." Makes sense. Until you start realizing the white women were using the Black women to tear down Black men and white men and themselves. Why? Because they took it from her, used it to take down these white men. Not really. They used it to humble white men.
Yeah, I was going to say, it kind of leveled them out a bit, yeah.
The Black women tried to murder us with it. You took Bill Cosby's life and let Harvey Weinstein live. You took R. Kelly's life and let the founder of Playboy pass away in peace. Where's all this hatred at, Black women? See, white women have used y'all to tear us down. Now, here's why I said, and they undercutted you at the same time. So they gave you the power, the battery in the back to go after the Black men, because what they really told you was that Black men suppress you. That you actually catering to your Black men, because people don't realize this. This is the actual fact. If you think about even growing up, if you even look at our old pictures, especially once we got able to be a little established in this country, the black woman and the black man had this synergy. The black woman took care of the black man.
Yeah.
Like, don't get it twisted. Like, the black man may have went out there, he may have did the work, he may have done everything, but the black woman took care of him.
Yeah.
And I don't think people realize how important that job is. Like, that's
hold it together.
Oh my God.
It's a lot.
y'all think that if a woman does that, that's beneath her, but that's the most important thing. That's how kingdoms.
Right.
What the white woman, because she's not naturally, that's not her place. She never done that. She has always tried to buck against the white man. She found a way to do it now. So she fed the black woman. Why are you doing that? What? Why? When he call you, you telling him where you at? Why you gotta go home and cook? Don't you work just like him? Why? And then all of a sudden, the black woman's like, yeah, why am I doing this? Not realizing your nature is to do that. That's in your nature. That's why if you notice, black women who don't have that, they automatically find something to pour themselves into. They always got 5, 6, 7 things going on because it's actually in you to take care of a man. It's in you. So you have to go out there to. It's in you. It's nothing wrong with that. It's in you because that's what you saw. Especially you came from 2-parent home, you saw that.
Right.
So the white woman has found the way to tell you why. Why are you doing that? And if you don't believe me, I know a lot of people like you're lying. If you ever pay attention to the interactions of white women and black women, especially when it comes to their dating people, you'll find that the white woman will always look at the black woman like, why are you doing certain things? She'll always say something like that. She'll be like, why are you doing that? You know, you sit there and be like, hey, what you cook for dinner? I ain't cooking nothing. I work just like him. Oh. What you do for his birthday? White woman do nothing. See? And the black woman said, well, wait a second, then we're not equal if I cater to him. No, you are equal. We are still equal. You just have a different role.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Because all the roles are equal regardless of what you're saying. But it's not being taught. They're not being shown as that. It's like you said, it's being shown as if it's beneath them.
It is.
But the thing is, there's something that's always gone on. And the crazy thing is, civilization, villages, kingdoms have strived off that.
So I like this point. Someone breaks in the house. I'm not looking at my wife to go find out who it is.
Right.
I'm not looking at my daughter to go.
Right.
I'm grabbing whatever weapon I have and I'm investigating it. Why? That's my role.
Right.
If bills need to be paid, I'm not looking at my wife to run out there and get a second job. That's my role to pick it up. Not saying she's not there to help, not saying she not helping. What I'm saying is if it came down to that both our incomes cannot make it, which one of us should get the second job?
Right.
Me. If both our incomes cannot figure it will be me. Now, if it has to be both of us, then we need to reevaluate some things in life. You know, but if we're, you know, it'll be me because that's my role.
Right.
Just like her role will be making sure I'm taken care of. There's nothing wrong with that because there are things she will see that she require of me. And I think it's because it's not spoken. These are things that are not spoken. Like we're not supposed to come and talk about these things. It's supposed to be known.
Yeah, it's like a implied task.
Exactly.
I got you.
So think about a white woman and her relationships. If someone break in the house, he looking at her, they both looking at each other, worrying about if the dog gonna go get it.
We're gonna call the police.
We ain't calling police. We actually we're going with the men. We're gonna go.
Right.
Even and I know people be like, "Whoa, you try to say white men, black men are different." We are different. There's no time in history to actually go over how different we are. You could just it just is what it is, and it goes beyond the penis. We're just different in a lot of areas, which is why a lot of white women are attracted to black men. We're just different. We're territorial. That's one of the main things. So we're protecting whatever is in our household.
Right.
We're gonna protect. We will. This gonna sound funny. We will protect the thought that we're messing with.
True.
Let's just keep it. We'll protect the thought. We know she messing with somebody else.
Right.
We know she down the line, and we'll go protect. Looking stupid. We'll stupid, dumb, everything, but we'll do it.
Right.
Why is this all important? Because when you that undermine the black man, you went to the woman. Mm-hmm. Because no matter how many times you hung us and killed us, no matter how many times you tried to suppress us, we still found a way to maneuver in this society. We still found a way to build. So there were still societies being built within Jim Crow, within segregation, all these other things. The woman, and I say the best time that you saw this is when the civil rights movement was coming to an end and we was finally getting our papers, I guess you could say, getting our papers. That's when the shift to the woman came. Mm-hmm. That's when you start seeing more of the woman with the afro throwing up the fist. You start seeing more of the outspoken black woman. Now saying like the feminism came in. Yeah. Like I'm not staying home and cooking or having babies. I'm going out here and what's wrong with being the mother of a nation? Mm-hmm. But the white woman who's never been seen as a mother of a nation, this is not me making fun of saying these things. This is actually how the white man view the white woman. Mm. The white, if you really think about it, look at their history, they don't view the woman like we view the woman. And that's one thing I think black women didn't understand is that we view y'all differently. Right. You could honestly say kind of, and I think this is why people have an issue with the worshiping of women. It is kind of like a demigod situation. We view them in such high regard. However, they took that and just repurposed it back into us. Mm. So they understood how we saw them. They understood that we saw them on this pedestal.
They fed into the synergy of it.
Exactly, and put it back into us.
So in case, hey, if it seems like, no, this is, I believe in you. You need to push forward. This is what you do. Everything is in your hands. I follow and trust you.
Exactly. So they saw that. So that's not natural. No. Some things are just not natural to some races. It's not. Right. So what you do is you start whispering in the weakest link.
Because you study it. You know, because people don't understand. They when you don't understand, what you do is you study it. You get an understanding of, like you said, what is its strengths, what is its weaknesses. You know, can I benefit it? How does it affect me? Beneficially, right? You know, how does it not benefit me? It being the way it is. You know, what can we do to interrupt that structure or to restructure it? Or you said repurpose the energy from it in a different direction.
Exactly,
like you said, feminism is used in such a manner. Hey, girl, what? Them men that went got theirs. Now, mind you, it's not for. Hey, for you all as a people, hey, them men that went got theirs, you know, now you can come be a part of us so we can get ours.
Yeah.
You know, so we can get ours, you know. Because like you said, you know, like people understand there's a difference between the Civil Rights Act, the equal rights, and the women's voting rights thing. So there's a clip floating out there. If I find it, I might just post it on our Facebook and YouTube page on why feminism came about and what was it directed towards. But it's very interesting. But I'm gonna leave it at that. So once I find it, I thought I sent it to you.
You might have. I have to.
You need to check it. Yeah, check it out. Let me know when anything. One of us. Matter of fact, we'll post it. When you find, we'll look for it and we'll post it. Either way, we'll post it. Via Facebook, you know, we ain't put anything in the wild, so let's do that. You know, so Facebook, our little Snapchats, whatever, man. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy how, you know, the foundations that we so well stood upon, we're chipping away at them like we're doing ourselves a favor. You know,
Thank you.
we do ourselves a favor. We do that.
How you keep people down? You keep them bickering.
Right.
If I could keep y'all bickering at each other, then you're not gonna see what I'm really doing.
True.
So someone said the purge. That's where we're at right now. We're at a purge. The Black woman has purged the man out out of their lives and out of their homes. In return, the men have started purging each other. The absence of.
Interesting. Okay, so we'll look at it.
And I know people gonna be like upset.
By the way, I saw the first purge. I loved it.
Yeah, the first purge. Yeah, that was
no. The first purge I loved too, but I really loved the last one he did. You gotta watch.
Oh yeah, the forever purge. Yeah, that was deep. Yeah, they were like,
yes, but you gotta watch that. And I gotta check the TV series out too.
And I'm telling you that's what's happening. I do believe that's happening.
It makes you really think.
When you got white people coming to church. But anyway, but that's how you keep us down, because I know your family structure is strong. I seen what y'all did. Think about this. I really want people to understand this.
Through 400 years?
They seen how we stayed together.
Through 400 years?
Through 400 years. You don't think that's not clicking in their mind like,
how? Wait a minute. That's not possible.
Exactly. Y'all have done this. And we taught ourselves in their language, which they did not teach us. We educated ourselves in their system, which they did not teach us. We took it, brought it back to our people. We developed the language. That's why I said, they say the dawn of civilization is always language.
Right.
How is it that we created a language within their language? Your intelligence is so superior. It's mind-boggling. That's why you can never be measured by their standards.
Yeah.
But that's another conversation.
You really can't measure adaptability. That's nothing. It's not really measurable. Because the only they are listed is measurable by the result. But even by that, the result is what it is because how and what was adapted to. But even from that result, you push further, there's going to be an adaptation from that as well, and so forth and so forth. It's always going to be not a deference. What's the other word? We'll just take deference right now. But yeah, it's always going to be, like you said, adaptability is always going to be a constant thing because you're always going to try to improve upon the result each time.
So glad you brought that up. So how can illiterate Black parents have college graduate children?
Do you know what they do? They encourage their kids to make sure that they read and they go to school.
We know the ability to maneuver is in us. To adapt, like you said, to grow our own intelligence, everything. We've done that. And we have done it as a people. We have done it as husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend. We've done it
boyfriend, girlfriend, girlfriend.
Yes.
Yeah, you want to do it?
Yeah.
Binary.
We've done it. Yes.
Binary with two.
No, that.
See whatever. Okay, we're going. I mean, throw you.
No. Side note.
Right.
If being, what you said, Diddy was,
If he's a frequency.
Being a frequency could have you in a position where two 25-year-old women argue over you. I need to be a frequency.
You keep it behind still. You're going
that's the American dream.
Okay, American dream.
Let me stop. Pause. Yeah, pause. But when you take all that into consideration, you realize that the bread and butter of the African American community has always been a structured family.
Right.
Why is that important? When you have Black women speaking out against Black men, it's not that they're not. There's the truth, and then there's why are we talking about the truth? So the truth is the truth, no matter what. But there's a thing to say why are we talking about the truth? So why are we doing something to diminish a man?
Because somebody benefits from it.
So,
or some group, someone benefits from it.
So what you're saying is that you want to belittle him because he may or may not have stepped out on his wife, and you want to say that diminishes anything he does. However, before you got to Martin Luther King, you had a slew of white men you could have done first. However, you chose to do a man who has been the symbol of the civil rights movement, for better or worse. I mean, it is what it is, for better or worse.
Say, he's pretty much one of the many martyrs, but he's the most noted one.
And I'll take it a step further. He's the one that the white man allowed us to learn about.
Okay. The most iconic.
Yes.
He was the most. Okay, he was the most iconic. I got
him and Rosa Parks.
Right.
No. She did more than just sit down. She just said her. I was surprised they kept that in the movie too. I thought they was gonna take that one out. But Cedric was wrong for that one. But even in the midst of that, you look at it, it's like, what's the point of knowing that? Just like, what's the point of knowing that there were people taking care of Martin Luther King? We knew he wasn't working. You don't get paid.
Right.
Sometimes you don't need to know what ingredients went into the meal, as long as the meal was good.
Yeah, it's true. But like you said, somebody thought they were benefiting by telling something that was, when you say a known unknown. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the things like, okay, at the same time, what are you benefiting for even focusing on that? You know? I mean, just like the example you always bring up about Jay-Z, about, his career, what he done in the past, what he rapped about, what he hasn't rapped about, even though he's done and said them things, whatever, in the past, what he's doing now, or what he's trying to do now, should be the measurement.
And I'm glad you brought that up. And you are absolutely, not only are you 100% right, but that's the biggest knock on black men.
Right.
They have always done that to us. And you brought up the last time we talked, you brought up the Malcolm X. And that has been used against Malcolm X.
Yeah.
It's Jay-Z.
The crazy thing is when somebody was, when they was talking about her, they brought that up as he should have been an example, as somebody you talk down about. No, not even that, because people don't understand. Like, if you a full-fledged Muslim, you don't. There's certain things as Muslims you don't do, or you're not supposed to be doing. In the Quran.
And he was very disciplined.
He's a very disciplined man.
Yeah.
He's very, very, very disciplined.
Yeah.
Very disciplined. So, if anything, he should have been an example of more towards what, because they were disciplined differently though.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. Malcolm X or Malcolm Shabazz. So, in a sense, the movements were similar, but it's totally different.
Right.
They figured out how to coexist, and the way they went about things was, like you said, Malcolm's discipline was a nonviolent.
Right.
I'm sorry, that's it, Martin?
Yeah.
No, Martin Luther King,
Martin was a nonviolent.
The nonviolent.
There is discipline in that. It's a lot. It's a lot of discipline.
Now, what he was practicing outside of that is something different.
And you know what? That right there is why, and this is going to sound really messed up, I would give him a pass if he did. And I'm going to tell you why.
But go ahead.
And I know this is messed up. I'm not giving him a pass saying that it's right or wrong. I'm giving him a pass because could you imagine having a white kid throw a half a boulder, as Cat Williams said, at you? Like, that's an iconic picture.
That's a lot to go through.
Exactly.
The abuse that you endure regardless is a lot to go through.
I mean, dogs, water. I mean, marching. Some of y'all don't even like walking to the car when it's hot. Could you imagine? Okay, y'all saw. They didn't march in Selma during the winter. I hope you go really like the march. That was not during the winter time.
No,
it is hot. South Carolina's hot. Georgia's hot.
When you're further south, you go,
Mississippi and Alabama
you go
have a
further
heat.
south to west. Yeah, it's more like a.
It's a dry, it's moisture, it's
Right.
mixture, depending on
Right.
where you're going. You got little creeks right here. You got
Right.
mosquitoes.
There's a, like I said, it's a discipline to it that people don't understand. And like I said, and people, his even if that's the case, I'm gonna say this: there's a way his wife did not know.
No,
That's
I
the
do
thing.
believe that.
She understand, and people don't understand. She understood the cause was greater than her,
Right.
but she didn't sacrifice because she knew if she were to leave, sacrifice the marriage, she could have put it out there
That would have undermined him.
That would undermine him.
Which, by the way, let's add this in there because I think that's where people confuse. Just because she knew didn't mean she condoned it.
Right.
And just because she didn't say it publicly don't mean she didn't address it.
Right.
And I think that's the problem.
Right. She knew what like I said, if that had been now,
oh God, it'd be over.
It'd be Jada Smith and Will Smith, Jada and Will. You know.
Oh my God,
I mean,
that's a perfect example.
Right. It'd be Jada and Will. But like I said, those times were different, and like that people understand. Like there was a lot of things that went on that was never spoken about. It was made aware and always acknowledged. Like you said, doesn't mean it wasn't addressed.
Exactly.
You know.
And if you read, and I know you have, but if y'all read her book and if you actually seen her talking and everything, she wasn't a weak woman.
No,
actually,
no.
Her strength actually complimented him, and I think that's what really compelled her to say, you know what, I don't condone this. I do believe that she addressed them, and I would say this. I don't think nobody. I can't say nobody. I don't think he if it happened, I don't think he purposely did that. Like he sought out that.
No.
Now Jesse Jackson. That's
Jesse.
Jesse, yeah. Honestly, you know what? People you around, Jesse seemed like the type. He had somebody on call, like, and so every time he went in, he strikes me as that person. I don't know what it is about Jesse. You know, think he was a cute also. I ain't saying nothing, but you know, just saying. But I think with it, let's break it down for B. Simone real quick. Martin Luther King fathered was it 5?
Oh, I think it's 5.
That's right, because he got 3 named after him, if I'm not mistaken, right? There's Dexter.
It's Dexter. Martin Luther III. There's Bernice.
Right.
I want to say Yolanda.
So it's 4.
I want to say it's 4.
Okay.
I should know better than this. I should know better. Yeah.
Between 4 or 5 children with his wife.
Right.
With his wife. He and all of them were born during that time frame. Like all of them. I think was Bernice the youngest, or was it third the youngest?
I don't even remember. No, third one the youngest. I think Dexter might have been the youngest. Yeah, those one of those 2, but I think there's only one of the siblings alive anyway. Now I think everybody's pretty much passed except the last. I think Bernice is the last.
So he had a whole family that
I think we gotta do it.
Yeah. Let's backtrack it a little bit more. He didn't want to do it.
Regardless of what's and people. Let's not sit and defend like we in court trying to defend whether. No.
I'm trying to
bring it around. Okay.
No, no. I'm not defending. Like I said, I don't want to. I definitely don't want nobody.
We're not.
Trust me, I do not. I am not. I would never defend that. Y'all be like, next thing you know, I gotta answer a phone call. No, I ain't about that life. Wrong is wrong. But I think sometimes you have to put things in perspective to understand certain things. So it's something he didn't want to do. He was thrown into it. He did it. He left his family. Who's feeding him? Men ain't feeding him. I won't. No. I'm not trying to be funny.
No, I got you. No. You got a very valid point, though.
Who's feeding them? Who's feeding them?
Right.
Where they're staying. They're not staying at hotels like y'all think. Now he may have got shot at a motel, however, then it wasn't always like that.
Yeah, they weren't always staying in hotels.
They were staying at people's houses. They were staying in people guest houses if they had guest houses. They were, someone may have, depending on the Green Book, if they had hotels here and there, but they're literally traveling, doing areas where you're not staying at the Hilton. You're not going to the counter to get dinner. Like, you're eating at people's houses. So we have to put things in perspective. And that's not condoning. I'm just saying you have to put things in perspective. So when you talk about a story and you talk about, oh, he did this, you're leaving out a portion of everything that can lead up to something. He's on the road more than your average star. He's living on the road. He's going from state to state. He's been in jail multiple times. He's been cursed out. White kids are throwing stuff at him. Let's put that in perspective. You could take some from an adult. Okay, cool. But you got your child? By the way, the same children that was throwing stuff at him are actually in certain positions now. And you wonder why things ain't changed. But I ain't here to talk about that. Mm-hmm. But you have all this going on, the pressure, and then you have your wife at home who's calling you and letting you know that the FBI is sending her stuff, who's calling you to let you know that they've been getting death threats, who's calling you to let you know that your children can't leave the house now.
Right.
You got all that on you. This ain't the baby B. Simone who just happened to find Delaney and fall inside of her. Let's keep it real. Or who you wanted to fall inside of you. This is a man that had the pressure of a race on his shoulder. Mm-hmm. And he had to balance that out with a family that he rarely seen.
Yeah.
Think about it like this. Only a few of his children really know him.
Right.
That's how soon he died.
Yeah.
Before you speak on that man, supposedly discretions, research that man. Yeah, learn that man. Yeah. That's where I want to hit it. It's not defending if it happens.
I got your point now.
Understanding the man,
the circumstances.
Yeah,
I got you. But even still, like you can't even hold the man's light standing more than standing in the shadow, because he overall gave the ultimate sacrifice. You willing to do the same?
Once again,
and so tell people, you willing to do the same? Like, come on now.
Could
you? It wasn't like he planned on it. He didn't. Hey, somebody's gonna kill me, so I'm just gonna stand for all this stuff.
I think they have reports out that he knew the day that he was going to die, like that day at the motel.
But he didn't. But think about it, he wasn't doing it to.
No, exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
But
like that's people don't understand. Like, same thing with Malcolm X. He wasn't doing things to say
his is worse.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Whoever you think about that died for any cause they thought was reasonable, within reason, or we think that was within reason, they didn't plan to die because of
right.
of how they were living and what they were doing and what they were trying to say.
Exactly.
They were stating.
So why do I feel hurt and betrayed? Because these same black women who will undermine Martin Luther King will go to church and praise John, Mark, Luke, David. I want a heart like David.
David was sleeping in everybody's wife.
David had a man killed to make sure
he
could get that woman.
Right.
That's thug life for real. And that's a man after God's heart. Think about that for a moment. Like, don't strike me down, God. I'm just saying that.
No, but that's how it's been stated as true fact in the book.
David was a wild boy. And his son was a wild boy. Like, his lineage was wild, except for Jesus. I think they say Jesus fell in his lineage.
Yeah, and basically, you know what? That's a little book. But go ahead, though. But even though that's people, like I said, I just feel we do each other disservice when we, like, for instance, somebody brought up the poet laureate, the great poet laureate, Maya Angelou.
Oh, that she had a white man?
She married 3.
Yeah.
3 of them.
Mm.
Yeah, we quote
We call her all the time.
and
Yeah.
poems and
Maybe that's why
we
she was
said-
saying that caged bird. She felt like a caged bird.
we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
That's not my concern. But like you said, we, you know, if we want to divest and digress, and,
Everybody has flaws,
you know, we do. If you're human, you're supposed to have them.
and all our flaws are different, you know. And I really thought about this the other day. You know, people look at people who are addicted to drugs. They're like, how can you not kick it? There are people who are addicted to porn.
True.
Why is porn more acceptable than drugs? Both of them can lead to a road of destruction.
Yeah. As your boy Kirk Franklin.
Exactly. But see, we see things differently.
GP.
I'm about to crack a joke, but I ain't gonna crack a joke. Maybe he put the G in there to keep it from being DP. I call him. What was your favorite porn, man?
Okay.
Yeah, let me say. I'm just playing Kirk. I respect Kirk because it takes a lot of guts to do what he did. But why not? Why do we have to keep knocking the black man when you're not even having that same energy for the white man? Y'all will praise and go to a white pastor's church, and this motherfucker taking your money, and he ain't giving you a dime. Joel Osteen finds money in his walls. What did he do for Houston? Who can say that they benefited from this church? But y'all not questioning that. Y'all not questioning how this white woman, I forgot her name, talking about some spirits from Africa coming, some garbage. You have to be careful. And you always talk about this: receiving information, processing information, reciting information.
Yeah.
You have to be careful.
So they say, first thing you always learn is trust but verify.
Yes.
Trust but verify.
If I hand you a folder, you ever seen Superman Red Sun? That cartoon?
It's a long time, but yeah, I have seen that.
Yeah. So Lex Luthor hands his wife, Lois Lane, a folder and said, and to give the Superman, gave the Superman, and everything started happening after that. And Lois came back and she was like, "Did you know that was going to happen?" He said, "Yeah, that's why I gave it to you, to give to him." That's how they do us.
Mm.
They give us the information and say, "Hey, here you go." They're not giving it to us because it's the benefit of us. It's the destruction of. If I want to tear something down, I don't have to shoot arrows at it anymore. I just give a certain person the information and let them run with it.
Mm.
And then that person will do the destruction for me. And that's how this seems to me. It doesn't matter in 2022 what someone did in 1960.
Right.
It doesn't. It doesn't matter what someone did in 2021. But we have allowed them to give us this information to use against everything. And this is why I want people to really, really think about this. You got on TV, and I call YouTube TV now. That's TV to me. And you made all this accusations and claims and how you felt about Martin Luther King. Granted, that's your choice. White people used you because they will keep a rapist in office, and as long as he gives them a tax break, they will keep a man who was known to have killed black people on a school, Robert E. Lee. They will erect statues of people who have did horrendous crimes.
Mm.
And while you sitting up there talking about, I'm upset because he cheated. That shows you the ignorance in that particular black woman.
Okay. I think we should just go ahead and wrap it up. We can keep going in circles. Not a rabbit hole, man. But thank y'all for watching. Share, subscribe. Hit the notification things. Please comment. Please, like I said, the whole nine. Are we doing something tomorrow?
Yes, we can. Tomorrow, yes, we'll film tomorrow.
Yeah, we definitely will film tomorrow. Next week is a short week. This week is a short week.
Yeah,
So,
we'll film tomorrow.
you know,
We'll have a
yeah.
topic.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, like I said, I just wanted because you asked me. I just wanted because it kind of bothered me because, but overall, you know, kind of reflect on how things are now, not just on out in the metaverse and the
Right.
other verse and tube land, web land, and all that stuff, you know, but like, you know, what's going on out in front of me as a whole.
So before we end, you brought this up a couple of months ago. One of my favorite movies in the past 6 years is Birth of a Nation. The second coming of Earth, not the first one.
Right.
The second coming of Earth.
What about that term? That one? I got you. Yeah.
The actor Nate Parker, even though there was nothing wrong, he was acquitted, and they didn't find no evidence of him doing anything that they said. Those black women attacked him to where it undermined the sale of his movie.
Yeah, it did.
For what?
Because you're doing something positive. You're doing something, and not necessarily what the subject matter is. You're doing something that's informative, so it's positive, and you know, and that's people understand. There's a way to be positive with the negative. But that's another whole other logical thing we can explain another time. But no, definitely, I did forget about that. Glad you reminded me that it is so true. And a very excellent movie. I've yet to go see. Please go watch that.
Yes,
And, you know, it's crazy that we're only getting the edited version of the actual story. But when you break down why things happen, because sometimes it make it like, oh, that nigga just went by the sword.
I know,
Start
right?
a revolution, you know, a rebellion, countryside. But you know, they still don't, like when you go through the area,
They don't recognize them at all.
they don't recognize anything that happened in that area.
Of course.
You know, the county, and you go into the county, but they don't ever have mention that there was a rebellion, but they don't ever say where it happened.
Of course not.
But the crazy thing, it's got a historic marker, so you know, okay, but either still. But yeah, but thank you for watching. Thank you for checking us out. Anything you want to put out there, sir?
Yes, we're gonna keep giving y'all this stuff, and I realized something today, and this made me feel good about how we're doing this. I know we're gonna be cleaning up a lot of our videos. We're gonna be cleaning it up, and we're gonna be doing a lot more stuff to make it more presentable. But our quality is the same quality as KB's. I watched one of his videos, and I realized our quality is the same quality as his. So I'm actually proud of us. Kwame Brown.
You tell me. I got you. Okay, I got you.
So I'm actually proud of us because if I was using measuring sticks,
the metrics. I got you.
Yeah, I'm like, so our quality is actually is on the same as his. So I'm like, okay, so we know how we could go up. So yes, we do study other people and we to make ourselves better. So we like to
we like input. Please input.
So yeah, so please.
And if you like to join and input as well, please, you're welcome.
Yes.
We not, you know, you don't mind debating, I mind laughing. I don't mind doing a little debate myself, but on me, let's have a discussion. Let's make this thing great.
Always.
All right.
I like that. Make this great.
Make this thing great.
Yes.
Make it great again.
Exactly. Okay. Y'all be blessed. And we're out.